Bombardier Defense has delivered the first global 6500 aircraft to the U.S. Army for its high accuracy detection and exploitation system program, HADES program, for those of you that have been following along with all of our wonderful Greek-themed acronyms. It's great. The Global 6500 offers superior speed, range, and altitude capabilities, which really is going to enable some pretty advanced intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance operations. This delivery is marking a huge step in modernizing the Army's aerial intelligence assets. Of course, replacing older platforms with more capable and updated technology. I mean, the ability to operate in a handful of different and diverse weather conditions, extending endurance of it, it's going to enhance that mission readiness and effectiveness of the Global 6500. It's a lot.
So the first one is delivered by Bombardier that's now going to be sent to S&C for conversion to HADES. So there's a lot going on here, right? So Bombardier has got to make 13 more Global 6500s, but S&C has to convert them into all of the stuff needed for these to be part of the HADES program. So I think that manufacturing is a challenge to get 13 of these out, but I think the conversion is actually the bigger thing to look at here. What are we doing to this cool aircraft to make it into something that really hasn't been made yet before? So I think I'm looking at the requirements of the conversion and how does that happen?
You're always safe when you go requirements, aren't you? Really,
they're important. One might say they're required.
You're just surprised he's not saying design.
Comfy, comfy, safe requirements.
No, design is my safe zone, Andrew.
No, and if you're not sure, you can go requirements. I know your game. I get it. Get off the fence, buddy. Integration testing and validation. This is about turning concepts into operational capabilities. The HADES conversion, it's not just a checklist, it's an iterative process they have got to go through to make sure that every system from ISR tech to comms, it's got to work seamlessly under real world conditions. So that integration testing, validation, it is number one.
So what you're saying is you need to have your requirements and your integration and testing all part of the same feedback loop, which is
what I'm saying.
No. 100% correct, because the 6500 gives us range, payload capacity, speed, endurance. The next step is the timely, relevant, and responsive capabilities for the full spectrum of the joint collective requirements of the Army here. That's the rub. It's all about the requirements of this thing for Sierra Nevada to be able to meet.
Requirements without that whole kind of integration testing and validation. You know, you've got the world's best recipe, but with no stove.
It's a well-oiled kitchen machine. The requirements and integration
with no stove.
Together.
With no stove. You've got to be able to test and refine in the real world to make sure that your requirements translate into actionable capabilities. Otherwise, the Army is going to be getting a flying science project that's not a mission-ready system.
And how do you know if it's a mission-ready system and not just a flying? I'll give you one guess, Greg. How do you know it's a mission-ready system? It's if you meet your
design. Sorry, we can't hear you. Greg, you're breaking up. You're breaking up, Greg. How do we fix it? Number one,
requirements.
Map out your Army's requirements. Then you've got your design and change. So we're still in Brian's wheelhouse. And then we're going to go AI, aren't we? We're going to analyze those integration tests using AI. We're going to flag any discrepancies, recommend adjustments to streamline that whole validation process, overlay that root critical thread. We got you. See you next week.